Rec, Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, and your haters. Available on Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 157. Coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? I just watched A Working Man. It's based on a novel, Levon's Trade, and it is an action movie starring Jason Statham, David Harbour, Michael Pena, Ariana Rivas, Noemi Gonzalez, Eve Morrow, Jason Fleming, and it is directed by David Ayer. He has directed Harsh Times, Street Kings, End of Watch, Sabotage, Fury, Suicide Squad, Bright, The Tax Collector, and most recently The Beekeeper, also starring Jason Statham. And Jason Statham is a working man working at a construction site, prior military, and when the daughter of the owners of the construction company gets abducted, a working man has to put in work. I told y'all it was based on a book. Sylvester Stallone, I'm assuming, caught the rights to the book or came across whatever, but he flipped the book into the screenplay, co-written, I believe, by David Ayer. And that's partly where this movie faults, you know what I'm saying? It sets it up very emotionally, gets you invested in the characters. I'm assuming that's the part written by Sylvester Stallone. And then it gets super goofy, cartoony villains, shoddy dialogue, and I'm assuming that's the part written by David Ayer. It is a very interesting and well executed story, for real. He's got a daughter, and they give him backstory, and the guardian the daughter is with doesn't like him, and then another scene makes all of that very ironic to a degree. I don't know if ironic is the right word. Funny. My shit is I think I put this over The Beekeeper, but it's every action scene is edited so poorly. You can barely tell what's going on. Like I said, all the villain characters are just cartoons in the most David Ayer way possible. Characters and designs, David Ayer also. Stupid tattoos. You know it's a David Ayer movie if there are Hispanic characters with stupid tattoos. There's parts of this I really liked. There's parts of this that took me out of it. I didn't even dislike. It just took me out of it. And he's piecing all these clues together, and then he'll fight and characters die, but he doesn't get any clues. And then it's it feels like he goes on this side quest, and it takes so long for that whole thing to come back around and connect to the main plot. And then there's also all these different groups of villains, and it takes forever for us to learn that it is all connected to the same story. So yeah, overall, it's kind of a mess, but I kind of enjoyed it. So I mean, it's typical, honestly, and I want to say this because aside from John Wick, Mission Impossible, aside from franchises, John Wick, Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious, hasn't Jason Statham kind of been carrying the action genre since Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger faded back? Yeah, if you want that 80s, 90s action vibe, Jason Statham's kind of where you go, right? It's like it's enjoyable slop, like good, bad, indifferent. No matter how you feel, Jason Statham would have been in that mix if he was a guy in the 80s and 90s. Even though I feel like, I don't know if it's nostalgia. I'm not talking like, I want to say Statham's crop of movies, Transporter, Crank, Expendables, stuff he's done recently. It's like the stuff he's done with Guy Ritchie is like head and shoulders just better because it's Guy Ritchie. Except for Operation Fortune, that shit was kind of a speed bump. But it's like he's kind of like better than Seagal, right? Seagal was like, you knew you were watching a bad movie. You just want to see Seagal whoop ass. I don't know if I'm watching bad movies with Jason Statham. His shit can surprise me. Jason Statham, I would say on average is mid, but you just hope for good fight scenes. But with A Working Man, the fight scenes could be good if they were edited better. I feel like I shit on this a little more than I sounded like I shit on this a little more than I wanted to. But with all that being said, I will say that in my opinion, A Working Man is solid. Have you seen A Working Man? Man, what you think? Positive, negative, somewhere in between, let me know. I also have this like mid-tier David Ayer. Like his far and away best movies are End of Watch and Fury. Everything else is kind of around a 3 out of 5. Except for Tax Collector and Harsh Times. In my opinion, those are dog ass. I recently put up reviews for Snow White. The week before that, Novocaine. Surprisingly enough, around the corner this weekend, I got a review for Death of a Unicorn. And then I don't care at all whatsoever to watch Minecraft. So like that weekend that The Amateur and Drop come out, there's something else that comes out that weekend. I don't remember what it is though. But segue, Reckley Podcast, upcoming, we're gonna do a second quarter preview. April, May, June. Talk about what we want to watch. Talk about what's gonna crash and burn. Talk about what's gonna surprise us. Be on the lookout, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.